Hi guys, I trust you well. Let's have a look at UK100. And as you guys know by now, we usually start off our analysis on the monthly chart. And yeah, without wasting any further time, let's get into the actual analysis. So in regards to the monthly chart of UK100, the first thing that I can see on my side is how we have this inverted head and shoulders pattern, which has a neckline more or less at that level, right? This would be the left shoulder and this would be the right shoulder. The side, or rather this would be the head, right? Another thing that I see is how we had this overextended W structure, which has a neckline more or less at that point. It's an overextended W structure rather, because the first leg is lower than the first leg, right? Or rather the second leg, right? Anyway, let me just zoom in a bit and let's get a much better view in terms of what's happening in the market. Remember guys, I said that this level over here is a very strong level of resistance, and in fact let me just mark it. Just bear with me guys. Right, so we can say that this is a very strong level of resistance, and as much as I've said that we have this pattern over here, which is what we call a head and shoulders pattern, an inverted head and shoulders pattern, which has a neckline at this point. What may actually happen is price may at this level bounce and push further down, right? And we might potentially see price move to this level over here, or rather yeah, this level over here, and that is because of this candlestick over here. It is a very important candlestick in the sense that it is a bearish candlestick with a long lower wick, which tells us that at this level we have a lot of liquidity sitting there, which needs to be triggered by the market at one point or another, right? So what else do we see guys in regards to the monthly chart of UK100? Another thing that I see is the fact that we have a gap at this point, and as I said guys, gaps represent liquidity, and liquidity represents money that needs to be triggered by the market at one point or another, right? Anyway, let's have a look. So from here, what I'm going to do is head down to the weekly chart. Let's see. Here we are on the weekly chart. In regards to the weekly chart of UK100, the first thing that I can see is that we have this block over here where we've had price move relatively sideways, as you guys can see. And having said that, we had also had these candlesticks over here, and as you guys can see, the market has been quite bullish, and it looks like it will be heading to this resistance area. And at that resistance area guys is where we would be looking for potential selling opportunities, as there's plenty of scope for the market to push further down because of, number one, that gap that I spoke about on the monthly chart, which is over here on the weekly chart, and number two, on the monthly chart I also spoke about how we have this level over here, which is a very strong level, or rather a very important level, as it is carrying a lot of liquidity at that point, right? Anyway, let's proceed guys. So what else do we see? At this point I don't see much, although let me just point out that we have what seems to be a W formation here, which also has a neckline at this point, right? So at this point I wouldn't really take this W structure too seriously, and that is because the market is at this point and it hasn't closed above that neckline, right? Anyway, from here I'm just gonna head down to the daily chart. Let's see. Here we are on the daily chart. And the first thing that I'm going to do in regards to the daily chart is to add my daily channel as well, so just bear with me. Let's have a look. We could say that more or less is our daily channel, so just bear with me guys as I adjust my daily channel. And just remember guys that our drawings need to be as accurate as can be, so that at the end of the day when we do execute, our execution is also pretty much accurate, right? So there we go. We could say that that's our daily channel. And another thing that I want to do actually is add a neckline for this W structure so that we don't forget about it. And remember that the neckline would also be a very strong level of support, right? Although because price is quite far off, this neckline at this point in time is not that important, right? So what else do we see, guys? Another thing that I see is that as much as we've had this W structure which has a neckline at that level, we had also had another W structure over here which has a neckline at that level. Can you guys see that? And guys, remember, when it comes to necklines of W structures, we want to see price break the neckline to the upside and then come back to the neckline to test it. And at that neckline is where we would look for potential buying opportunities, right? So I'm just going to add a neckline to that smaller W structure because it's very much important at this point in time. Just bear with me, guys. There we go, more or less, right? And the next thing that I'm going to do is to utilize the Fibonacci retracement tool. We want to see if the neckline of that W structure aligns with any key levels that we have on the Fibonacci retracement tool, right? So let's see, let's have a look. Fibonacci, there we go, more or less, right? And guys, we can see that the neckline of this W structure, which is over here, aligns, we could say, with the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. So that is confluence, guys. That is confluence in as far as looking for potential buying opportunities where we have that neckline, right? Number one, we have the W structure. Number two, we have the neckline of the W structure being broken to the upside. Number three, we would then have the neckline aligning with key numbers of Fibonacci, right? So from here, what I'm going to do is head down to the H4 chart, right? Let's have a look. Just bear with me, guys. On the H4 chart, I'm just going to fix my H4 channel just to make sure that it is still quite accurate. Just bear with me, guys, while I do so. Let's see. There we go, and there we go, there we go, there we go. The one thing that I don't like about this particular channel is that it is very steep, right? And what normally happens in regards to steep channels is that at some point they get broken very easily, right? Nonetheless, having said that, guys, remember that on the bigger time frames we spoke about this level over here, right? In fact, let me just go back to the daily chart, or rather we spoke about this level over here, and we said that it's a very strong level of resistance, right? To add to that, let me just zoom in a bit. Just bear in mind that we also have this level over here, right? And as much as we expect price to reach this level, what may actually happen is price may reach this level and then push further down, right? Anyway, I'm just gonna mark that level as well, which is also a very strong level of resistance. Let's see, we could say that this level over here, more or less, right? And then I'm gonna go back to the H4 chart. Yeah, so here we are, guys. Remember, we spoke about this smaller W structure which has a neckline at that point, and we said that the neckline aligns with key levels of Fibonacci, right? Anyway, at this point in time, we can see, if I can just zoom in, we can see that the market is moving rather sideways. Having said that, we also have this candlestick over here. It is a liquidity candlestick in the sense that it is carrying a lot of liquidity where it ends. Let me just mark that, right? There we go, right? So in as far as buying or selling opportunities go, at this point I don't see any actual opportunities. However, should price from where it is move down to this level over here, at that level is where you should be looking for potential buying opportunities, and your first take profit should be this level over here because it's also a strong level of resistance. Your second take profit should be, if I can just go back to the daily chart, your second take profit should be this area over here, right? I hope that makes sense, guys, and that's my analysis, and peace out.